So, is Barbie just a toy, or is she a cultural icon that mirrors society's biggest changes? And what does it take to have one of the most legendary collections in the world? Also, what if I told you that one of the world's biggest Barbie collectors isn't a little girl, but a grown man with over 13,000 dolls and counting? Well, let's go into and start a wild ride through the pink tinted world of Barbie like you've never seen before. Welcome to Shelf Life. All right, so we are here on the very first episode of Shelf Life. And I gotta say hello to Jian-yang.
Hello, hey.
You and I, we've known each other for quite a while. And even on our social media platforms, people do see us, funny enough, as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
very good-looking couple, just
very good-looking couple, I would say. All right, so I'm not gonna go through all the regular questions of asking you when did Barbie, collection started for you or what got you started, because I think in the world of media, you have covered all of these questions already. All right, so I'm gonna ask you, the last count you had for Barbie dolls was $13,000.
Yeah.
And how many years ago was this?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
It's almost like it doesn't matter anymore because the number is such an arbitrary thing, right? Because like some of them you give away, some of them you buy extras. I actually just bought a collection of about 180 dolls.
What?
That's what I spent my weekend doing. So there's like 180 dolls in my car, 2 trips from Marine Parade to my house. So this collection is sort of this ever-evolving thing.
So when we say 13,000 and counting, that actually has put you on the world map internationally as well, right? Because you're known as the second largest collector in the world.
Yep.
And in Asia, you are the largest collector.
Correct.
Or you
So
have the largest collection, right?
Yeah, it's in the Asia Book of Records.
I figured.
Yeah.
And with all these dolls, we're talking about tens of thousands of dolls. Where do you even find the space? How?
If you really need the breakdown, the favorite dolls are in the house. My storage has extras and the 80s dolls. My parents' house, I've got 4 bedrooms in my parents' house.
They all have dolls?
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
Okay, at least she went there. What is wrong with me? No, so my parents have a 7-bedroom house. I have 4 of the bedrooms, and my boys' toys from my childhood and my 2000s dolls are there. And then there's did I cover storage?
Yes, you covered bedroom, storage, parents' place, the office.
The office, oh my gosh. Okay, so the office is Transformers, My Little Pony, Disney Princess. So no dolls.
Oh.
No dolls. Yeah.
Why?
Because my partners already think I'm crazy.
Right. We're talking about business partners, right?
Yeah, business partners. I don't have multiple partners.
So,
I'm not that kind of guy.
I'm just thinking, right, like through all your collections, how do you even keep track of which doll do you own and which doll do you not have?
So the funny thing is that all happens in my mind. So I can actually tell you like right now, if I picked one doll up, I'm like, okay, so this dress is from Awedio and she's wearing the sunglasses from another doll. I actually remember every single thing that way.
You're kidding.
To the point that if you ask me how many Marilyn Monroe repeats do I have, I'll tell you I have 3 of them and 2 of them are in the house and 1 is in storage.
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
fair enough. I think when you really are very deep into your collection, you kind of really do have like a mind inventory where you know where the dolls are,
Correct.
what are the accessories that
yeah.
actually do come along with them as well. And most importantly, right, because I did mention that usually people associate dolls with little girls. And growing up, did you receive any form of criticism when it came to like, wow, why are you collecting Barbie dolls?
Wow, okay, wait. So are you charging me for my psychiatry hourly rate? Or?
Of course not. You just have
Okay.
to answer the question.
Okay, so actually, surprisingly, no, there hasn't been anything significant. My parents are actually very supportive. They're very like, just buy him what he wants. He'll grow up into what he's intended to grow up to be. So I don't think I've ever had any pushback from my family. In school, I think it was kind of okay because it's not like you bring your dolls to school, right?
I don't know if you brought your dolls to
I didn't
school.
bring my dolls to
Okay,
school. I
fine.
didn't have My Little Pony backpack with a Barbie hanging from it, lah.
Okay.
So I was just a regular guy in a regular school. And, you know, in the 90s, right, I actually had a Swatch collection. So everyone knew me as the Swatch guy. And it's just that there was this Barbie dream house in my bedroom, but like nobody really thinks about that, right? So
But I know the story of this. So it's also because you have a sister.
yes.
Right? And your sister, I mean, your parents would buy dolls and your sister played with them, but you would take them and you would redress them and come up with different ways of styling their hair and their makeup as well.
Yes.
And I remember that you also told me that you used to design the doll stuff to get money to buy your Swatch.
Yeah. So this was actually through the late 90s into the 2000s where I would repaint the faces and make dresses. And I would sell them in fairs and conventions, like $40, $50 kind of thing, just to support my poly and uni kind of spending. And then I would go and buy swatches and good shoes and all that stuff. So the Barbie was always kind of like a canvas for my art. And you know, you're a teenager, you don't call it art. You just do.
You just do because you love it.
Yeah, because you can, and it makes you money.
Okay. So talking about money, collecting Barbie, dolls over the years, is it for love, status, or future millions?
It's absolutely for love. Absolutely.
Purely love.
It's like when I'm such a bad investor that when I try to buy dolls and tell myself, oh, it's for the value and I'll sell them on the secondary market and all that. As a collector, right, if you have 2 Karl Lagerfeld dolls right now and I paid $250 US for it, and it's now $10,000, right?
What?
Yeah. Google it, it might actually be $10,000. But my collector mind says now you've got 2 of them. Why would I sell one for $10,000 when as a collector I can say I have 2?
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't need to make the $10,000 because I prefer to just say I have 2.
So is it like a flex thing for you?
Possibly.
Because right now you're number 2.
But the funny thing about flex, right, is that it's not like you ever go out and say, oh, I've got 2 Karl Lagerfeld dolls, ha 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 ha.
No, but it's all about increasing the number of dolls that you have.
Not at all.
No?
I don't care. I don't care to be number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, I run a social media company, and from a digital footprint standpoint, if you Google Barbie collector, I come up. And in a sense, it's no longer a competition about number anymore. It's about findability. And I am right now synonymous with the Barbie brand name. And in my mind, I've won. I've won this competition that I'm not in, but I've won.
Yeah, but I don't know, you're still number 2. And number 1, we know it's this lady from Germany, right?
Yeah.
And you are actually social media friends with her, or you're really friends with her as well. Yeah. And what is her current number? I
think she's at about 18,000. But a lot of people forget that in Singapore, property prices are ridiculously high. She lives in Germany, where, if I live, just to do an apples to apples, if I lived in Germany, earning a German salary, I would actually be able to buy a landed property with yard space and a barn and whatever else. If I needed to buy another $5,000 to catch up with her, I can buy the $5,000.
So it's
space.
I
cannot buy the house.
It is always about space.
Exactly.
And that's why when we look into your house, you have this very grand feature wall, and all the dolls, they are packed.
It's a library.
Yeah, they're packed back to back.
Yes.
And right now, you have displayed some of your, I would say, favorite pieces or the newer collections as well, like the ones that are next to you. Why are they so special?
Okay, there's some part of me that is completely stuck in this 90s glamour aesthetic. I like big gowns, I like big hair, I like crystal, I like things like that. I know it's not today's aesthetic, but things like this make me very happy.
They make you happy?
Yeah.
Bejeweled gowns.
Bejeweled gowns, bolero jackets, like little big collars and stuff. I love it.
And to keep up with the collection, right, I see that you finally got the Diwali doll.
I did finally get the Diwali doll.
Right? And this, you proudly told me that you have 3 pieces.
Yes.
And are you going to unbox and keep one, or one in case one gets dirty and then you still have a spare?
I haven't planned it yet. I wanted 3 because, Mattel did say that there are only 50 in Singapore. I knew I wanted 3. But what I like about this doll is that the reason I brought my traditional Indian here is that when companies do Indian dolls, they do very traditional looking Indian dolls. This is the first time they've done a modern Indian doll. So I knew I wanted one in the box. I knew I wanted one to perhaps embroider, perhaps do something with it, because the Indian textiles are very rich. This is a doll that has a printed outfit. So there's no texture of her dress at all. And what I wanted to do was like perhaps glitter it or sew something onto it, crystal it,
Oh,
embroider
we should
it.
crystal it.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's always having a reserve and trying to do something to spruce it up a little bit or to make it, you.
Mine, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And with the whole range, right, I saw that they even had Barbies with different careers. And to bring you back in history, well, okay, not so far back, I think last year, you gifted
Not
me.
history.
Well, it's a little bit of history, lah. A
Fine,
little bit of history.
fine.
All right, so for my birthday, you actually gifted me something that resonated with me very, very strongly, and that is being a radio producer or rather a radio jock, right? And we've got that one that's featured right over here.
Yep.
She came with headphones. She came with the whole panel,
Yep.
and she came with a laptop. And that made me feel like, hey, that is me. I see myself in the world of Barbie. And the other thing that you also gifted me, which I believe, I would like to say that I'm a very special friend of yours. I've got Dolls of the World, the Princess of Japan. This is really one of the things that I got gifted for my birthday that made me go, that is half of me, because that says so much about my own heritage. It talked about my hair, being all
Yes.
black and stuff. And I love that it came with a very cute little kimono as well.
Yeah.
Right? So, with dolls trying to represent, I don't know, the beauty standards, do you think it is what Barbie is, representing that beauty standard, or it's a very outdated mindset?
Wow, how long do you have for this podcast, man? Look, a simple answer to that is that every company, from a marketing standpoint, needs to respond to target audience behavior. I think that the world, driven by America's narrative, has gone into the diversity conversation. And as much as you want to stay away from it, the truth is that there will be people that need to see themselves in the doll world. So I think when we were young, right, and you're playing with dolls and she's always standing on tiptoes, she's always 39, 18, 33. Yeah, that girl, 39, 18, 33, skinny girl, etc. There was a beauty ideal that a lot of us could never be. So I don't remember what the year was, but recently there was this thing called Project Dawn, where they introduced 4 new body types, which are regular, curvy, petite,
yeah.
and tall. And then there's another body type that they never talk about, which is a flat chest, wide hip doll.
Oh.
Okay, so there is a 5th body type. And slowly but surely, you could actually see that the curvy girls were now starting to see themselves in the Barbie world, etc. But they pushed it a lot more, and they did a wheelchair doll, they did hearing aids, they did prosthetic legs. And I think that sort of helps that conversation about inclusivity. And I don't know what it matters, what we think about it, because the truth is that as long as it makes a difference in one person's life, I think that it was a right move.
Oh, it's interesting that you're talking about this.
I'm very
brand
scared
new,
of where this is going.
this brand new inclusive range, all because a couple months back, you and we actually headed down to a very special cafe. It was
Yes.
called APSN
Yes.
Cafe. And we met up with a lot of interesting kids as well. It's a vocational institution that actually helps these little youths get back into society. And one thing that I noticed was there was this girl. All right, I won't mention her name yet, but there was this girl that she was looking at your whole table, and this was the exact same display that you had on the cafe table.
Yep.
And she went, and the very first doll that this girl picked up was this one, right?
Yeah.
And that girl, she was just looking at the doll for about a couple of minutes. And I remember I was signaling to you, I was like, hey, take a picture with her. And you're like, why? I'm like, just take the picture. So after that, you had a very short conversation with her. And she was trying to tell you that, hey, this is Sarah.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
meant-
And you argued back. You argued back. You were so adamant that no. What did you say? You said, no, that's not Sarah.
This is not Sarah, this is Barbie.
Yeah, and the girl just continued, right? And she wasn't upset with you. She just looked at it and she smiled and she looked at you. She was like, no, this is Sarah. She is just like me. And that was when your eyes went a little bit teary. Yeah, teary a bit. And well, the truth was, I think at that very moment when I saw that happening, I was like, yeah, it is true. There is a doll that represents everybody, some way or another. And I think in the evolving world of Barbie, there are more and more dolls that people can resonate with, you know, kids can resonate with. I mean, even in terms of skin tone, hairstyles, different disabilities, they're all represented in the whole world. So, you know what? You actually made her very happy. And I think, you know, looking past all of these, there is definitely something or in the Barbie world that everybody can resonate with very strongly. So when it comes down to talking about your collection, right? You want to collect every single doll that you love or every single doll that you can get your hands on. I'm very sure, right? There are a couple of dolls you haven't been able to get.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there like a wish list?
There is a wish list. I knew you would ask this question. It's right here.
No!
How
did you know?
I do. Yeah, I mean, you are very predictable.
Oh, okay, fine.
I actually have...
That's a very old piece of paper, by the way.
No, it's not. It's elephant dung paper.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
But yeah, I actually have a physical wish list of things that I want.
Oh my
and the funny thing
goodness.
is that these are not hard to get. They are actually just... They're like 90s dolls, Playline dolls. Not expensive. But the funny thing is that I don't have an eBay account.
What?
Yeah. So that's the way that I control myself.
Oh.
I don't have an eBay account. So all of these are like $30 dolls on eBay, but shipping itself is going to be like $50.
It is, but if you really want it, you can go ahead and get it, right?
So the good thing about being me is that I feel, what I found is that over the years, the dolls have always found their way to me.
Wow.
Because I am quite synonymous lah. So a lot of people, no, really, because when people are trying to sell collections, they Google who will buy.
Oh.
And it would be me, right?
So they will reach out to you and ask if you want to...
How do you think I just got the $180 last week?
I see.
A complete stranger called me using Facebook Messenger. And she was like, I have a doll collection to sell. And you're like, wait, what? And it was kind of a, would you like to come to my house and look at them? I'm like, okay, you're a stranger. I'm a man that you've never met, but okay. And
but it's because of the dolls.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of people, who are your fans that follow you on social media as well.
Fans?
I would say fans.
Fans, no. Social media friends.
Okay, social media friends.
Social media friends.
The truth is, everybody sees you with a doll every single day.
True that.
And, a lot of people who have asked me as well, how do you go out with Jian Yang? I'm like, I just go out, but I just make sure that he doesn't forget me. And they always ask me why. And the truth is, you will never see Jian Yang without a doll.
True.
Anywhere. At any time, any place. Even when he travels, you bring a doll. You bring dolls, right? Yeah. And he would choose to forget me, leaving me in the mall, than to forget bringing a doll home.
You still sore, is it?
I am still, not very sore, but so this I noticed was because somebody came up to me and said, hey, your friend Jen left his doll on the table. And I said, no, because Jen will never forget a doll. He will forget me, but he will never forget to bring a doll home, which is true.
True.
Right? And you left that doll at APSN Cafe.
For Sarah.
For Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
By the way, you know what you did forget to mention, and I don't know whether I didn't catch it? Sarah has Down syndrome.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah. So Sarah actually had Down syndrome, and actually, to me, the magic of that story, right, was the fact that even the principal of the school, I think he's the principal?
He is the principal,
He's the principal?
I think, yeah.
The principal of the school looked at the doll and said, how can I tell that she has Down syndrome? And I was like, I don't have an answer for you. But it was just so interesting that the person with Down syndrome picked up this particular doll and said, this is me.
Yeah, she could see herself in the doll.
Yeah.
And this was absolutely amazing. I mean, I felt it, actually. You know, I could resonate with how Sarah felt because that was exactly the same moment when you passed me the radio producer doll. And I was like, hey, that's me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, although the coloring is not the same, but it is what I do for a living, right? And that made me feel very special. So thank you. So, okay, couple of last questions I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
right? You've got 10 over 1,000 dolls.
Yeah.
Who are you going to leave your collection to?
You know, a lot of people ask me this question, and I want to be very philosophical about it, okay? Because what I enjoy is the process of play. So if you, like you said, I'm always with the doll. Every day there's a doll.
Every day.
And the way that I play is, for example, today I knew you were going to wear Puma Barbie shoes, and I brought out my Puma Barbie. So to me, that is the play. That's creating connections, which, by the way, it makes me better at my job. But it's also the way that I enjoy interacting with my collection. It makes me circulate through the collection,
Wow.
right? So that's the way that I do it. So if you ask me, have I enjoyed every second with my collection? The answer is yes. Which brings me to that bridge of when I die, what happens to them? My simple answer is, who cares? Who cares? I've enjoyed every moment of my collection. After this, if my children, my nieces, my sister, my whoever, want to disperse the collection, throw the collection away, sell the collection and become very rich, I'm dead. It doesn't matter anymore.
Because when you were around, you enjoyed every single doll.
Yeah.
Okay, fair point. If I'm still around, I will take care of your dolls.
I know how big your house is. You will not.
I was trying. I tried. All right. So, you know, with all the dolls that you have, if you could create your very own line of Barbie dolls or your own range, what type of series or what type of collection would I be seeing?
I feel like the brand has actually made dolls a lot more approachable and attainable. So a regular doll in the US costs about $10. So like this series, they're all $10. And to me, right, that's the opposite of what I would like to see in a series. I like when things are a bit more exclusive, a bit harder to reach, a bit harder to afford. So what that means is that the collector gets higher quality and, you know, lower quantity, higher quality. So my series of dolls would be a very diverse group of dolls, different skin colors, different hair types, but only in basic outfits, possibly lingerie, little black dress, and you spend a lot of money on the expensive clothes and accessories, all of them tied up with brands. So I don't want to have fake Birkins on a doll. I want a doll-sized Birkin made by Hermes, which you can buy for the doll.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And you
That's
can, by
like-
the way, buy a Birkin, what's it called, like a charm
Okay,
from Hermes.
yes,
It's
well,
only
you
6,000
can.
euros.
Yeah, but
But-
I mean, 6,000 euros for just an accessory?
I mean, she's
a
worth
doll.
it. I mean,
Okay.
we buy expensive things for our girlfriends all the time, right?
Oh, thank you very much. I
So-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that the doll deserves that same dignity.
All right, so one day, if you ever do make enough money, there is one range that you will try to have. And hopefully, you will also buy me a Birkin.
Can lah.
All right, so thank you so much for being here with me on the very first episode of Shelf Live. It's been really a great pleasure. I mean, you even brought in, your most coveted collection of dolls, I can see. And yeah, I hope you had a great time with me too.
Yes, it was fun.
All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the entire episode. We're going to come back with more, and I'll catch you back here on Shelf Life. Bye.